Okay, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the VDC space. Today, we're going to be doing a site logistics model in Revit 2023. Now, before I get started, I would like to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel, like and share. If you are new, if you already subscribed, thank you, and hit that notification button because I upload BIM modeling tutorials and Revit tutorials 3 times every week. I cover different topics, as you can see on my playlist. So when it comes to today's project, we're going to do a site logistics model. And what do I mean by that is I'm just going to model a basic site and then implement like site components such as site offices, construction plant, scaffolding, cranes, and all those other site components just to give a visual aspect of how things operate at site in terms of logistics and movement and all those things. Now, if we had time, I would take it further by also generating an animation model in Navisworks, but I will certainly do that in the later tutorials. So today we're just going to keep it as basic as we can. We're just going to model a site, and then we're just going to place a typical concrete building, and then we're going to place site components just for visualization. Now, without further ado, let's start with our project. So I'm going to use Revit 2023 because it has better features in terms of the massing and site, in my opinion, such as the subregion. So I'm just going to use the subregion as our gravel pathways and also access roads. So the first thing is we're just going to extend these views. So because this is very much going to be a large site, so I'm just going to extend these views and then increase the scale to 500. So I'm gonna select this one and then extend it beyond, and then select this one and also extend beyond this side. Select this one and then extend it beyond this side. So this is what we have. Now the first thing is we're going to establish our property line. So in order for us to do that, under massing and site, we're going to go to modify site and say property line. And then we have two options. Either you can create it by entering distances and bearings, or you can create it by sketching. So we're going to use sketching, and then we're going to start from this point, and then we're going to take it towards this point by I think we can make it. Okay, let's start from this point. So I'm going to make it 250,000 millimeters, and I'm going to take it diagonally at 80 degrees by 250,000 millimeters, and then further diagonally to the right by 10 degrees, and I think we can make it 350,000 millimeters, and then we're gonna take it diagonally at 70 degrees like this, and then we're just gonna join these lines. So I'm just gonna center everything like this, and this is basically what we have. So I'm just gonna say finish edit mode, and this is basically our property. You guys can just choose your own configuration if it makes sense to you. So after that, we have our property line. So under model side, we're going to go to topo surface, and then we're going to pick these points of our property lines, and then we're going to generate a topography from it. And then we're just going to apply the material to this. Let me just press escape, apply material to this, and then I'm just going to type in plant, and then I'm just going to say, okay, let me do earth instead. So I'm just gonna load in earth. It's already loaded, and say okay, and then I'm just gonna say finish. And then as you can see, we cannot see our topography, so you can just go to visibility graphics, or you can type in VG, and then on your VG you're gonna type in topography, and then you're gonna check this topography option and say apply, and then okay. And then when you change this to shaded, as you can see your topography. So I'm gonna set this back to wireframe, and then it's time to place our components. So the first component we're gonna go with, I'm gonna say insert and say load family. So the families I have downloaded, I will leave the link in the description for each of them so that you guys can use for your own. Most of them I got them from beamobject.com, and you'll be familiar with some of them. I'm sure you guys used some of them in some of your tasks or projects. So we're gonna start with our fence. So I'm just gonna apply a fence on our side boundary. So which one I'm gonna go with? So yeah, I'm just gonna go with this one. I think I downloaded this one. So it's just gonna update. Most of them are from the previous versions of Revit, and then I'm gonna go to architecture and say component. And no, I don't think this one was the one I meant to use. So let's say load again. And let's say, yeah, I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to say architecture and say component. And then as you can see, I'm going to have to go with 2 concrete feet. And then I'm going to hover over our boundary line and then press tab on my keyboard so I can change its orientation. And then I'm going to place it like this. Then I'm going to select it, press AR on my keyboard for array, or you can go to array. And then I'm going to pick this point as my last point. And then I'm going to apply my array. So I think I will place 50 of them, press enter. So 50 doesn't close the gap, so I'm just going to increase them and make it maybe 80, press enter. And as you can see, the gap it's closing, so I'm going to make it 85. And this is what we have. So if I open up the 3D view, and so I'm just gonna select my levels first, right click and say maximize 3D extend, and then select my other level, maximize 3D extend. And as you can see, this is what we have. So we're gonna do the same thing for the other sides, and I'm gonna go to component, hover over our property line, press tab, and then it's gonna change its orientation and place it like this. Select it, and then I'm gonna array it, and then I'm going to use this point as my second point, and then I'm going to apply my array. So this one I'm going to make it 50, press enter, and this is okay. Let's see with 45 or maybe 46, 47, 48. Yeah, I think 48 works fine. If I go to the 3D view, this is how it looks. Now I'm gonna go to the other side also and say component, and then I'm gonna place this one like this, select it, and then array, and then from this point I'm gonna select it, and then I'm gonna select this as my second point, and then I'm gonna place 90 of them this side, and this is how it looks. So I'm gonna have to increase it and make it 95, or let's go with 100, 120. Let's see. Okay, they clash. 115, enter. They still clash. 110, enter. I think that is fine. So we're gonna do the same thing on this side, and then I'm just gonna place it like that, and then select it, array, and then I'm gonna select this point, and then I'm gonna select this as my second point, and then I'm gonna adjust my array. So my array, I'm gonna make it, let's go with 60 this side, and I think 60 is fine, or let me just say 63. Let's see. Okay, they do clash. Let's go with 62. Let's enter. They clash a bit, and I think 60 is fine. So when I go to the 3D view, this is basically our site, our construction site boundary, and our fence. Perfect. Now you can save this. So it's time to add other components. Okay, now the next thing is I'm just gonna change this to shaded just to see our ground. So I'm gonna go to this point. So on this point, I'm just gonna remove like two of these fences, and then just to make X for our access roads and also our entrance. So this side also I'm gonna move two. I'm just gonna choose random spots, so I'm gonna remove two of these also. So we're gonna have three access points. So this side is the basically the main entrance, where mostly the engineers will enter and head to their site offices and also the assembly point. So this side is mostly for the construction plants like the concrete mixers and also the other trucks that deliver the material to the construction site, and also the general workers also. And so okay, now it's time to model our gravel walkways and also our gravel roads. So we're gonna go to massing inside and say sub-region, and then I'm just gonna place a line on this side. Actually, I'm gonna place it on the left side first, and then I'm gonna take it like this diagonally. As you can see, you guys can choose your own configurations and your dimensions when it comes to this. And then I'm just gonna place it randomly like this, and then I'm just gonna end it right there. And then the next thing is I'm gonna offset it by 5,000 millimeters. So I'm gonna offset it this side and also this side by 5,000. Press escape, and then I'm gonna close it down, and also I'm gonna close it down this side, and then I'm gonna say trim and extend, and basically it's gonna be set like this. So I think let me just see. Okay, I think it's fine like that. So I'm gonna say fillet out just to apply the curve on that, and then I'm gonna make my radius 5,000, and then I'm gonna apply it like this. So this is what we have. And now the next thing is I'm gonna have to uh, provide access when I'm gonna generate my access routes that leads to the site office parkings. So I'm gonna start on this point, take it upwards by 25,000, and then I'm gonna take it like this. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do things randomly here, and then my parking is gonna be set like this, and I'm just gonna leave it like that and say pick lines, and then I'm gonna offset it by 5,000 millimeters on this side, and then I'm gonna say trim and extend, and then I'm gonna say trim and extend on also this side, and then I'm gonna apply my fillet arc of 5,000 millimeter radius and all the. So it's going to be set like this, and also on this part. Perfect. So this is where our side office parkings are going to be situated. So I'm going to say, okay, this clashes. So I'm going to say slice, and then I'm going to remove this line, and then I'm going to apply my fillet arc also on this point and say finish edit mode, and then I'm going to apply the material to this, and then I'm going to type in gravel on my materials, and then load in my gravel and say apply, and then okay, go to the 3D view, and this is basically how it looks. Now I'm going to say I'm going to go back to level 0. So on my level 0, the first thing is I'm just going to place my parkings, so my parking decks. So I'm going to go to insert and say load family, and for my parking decks, the ones that I have downloaded are these ones. So I'm going to say open. And I'm going to go to architecture component. And then I'm just going to place them like this. And I'm going to place the second one like this. So I'm going to select this one, mirror pick axis, and then I'm going to mirror it towards the other side. Select two of these, mirror pick axis, and then they're going to be mirrored to the other side. Select the four of these, mirror pick axis, and then it's going to be set to the other side, and then select only one, and then I'm going to mirror this towards the side. Okay, let me say this one, say mirror, then it's going to be set like that. So if I open up the 3D view, this is basically going to be our parking. So I'm going to select, control select all of them, and then go to my floor plan, and then I'm just gonna copy them towards the other side like this. So they're gonna be set like that. So this is basically our side parking. Now the next thing is I'm gonna go to level 0 again. So I'm gonna work from the right to the left. So I'm gonna establish my site offices. So I'm gonna go to back to my massing and site and say sub-region again, and then I'm gonna continue with my gravel, and then I'm gonna set it like this. Actually, before I do that, let's just I'm gonna start with my sample building. A sample building is basically a temporary structure which is placed at site, or which is constructed at site, which shows the different materials that apply to the actual project or the building. So I think it falls under miscellaneous stuff in terms of the bill of quantities. Yeah, I may be wrong, but yeah, I think that's the logic behind it. So I'm gonna set up my grid. So I'm gonna place one like this, and then I'm gonna offset this one by 3000 millimeters. So I'm gonna place. So I think 5 of them. No, I think I'm gonna place 6 of them. So I'm gonna offset this one by 3000 millimeters, and then I'm gonna place it like that, and then I'm gonna place my other grids like this. So I'm gonna offset this one by 3000 millimeters. So they're gonna be this side. I think it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5 of them is fine. So the next thing is I'm gonna place my steel columns. So I'm gonna go under structure. I'm gonna go to columns. So I'm gonna place this one through 5 Make sure your constraints are set to height and your top level to 1. And then I'm just gonna place them like this. And then I'm just gonna skip. Okay, let me just place it this side also, and also this side, and also in this corner, and also in this corner. So I think I'm gonna have to place another one like right in the middle. So I'm gonna have to let's just go to reference plane and then place a reference plane like this, and then I'm gonna offset it by 1500 from each side, and then I'm gonna go to my column again, and then I'm gonna place it like this. And also I'm gonna place it this side. And when you go to the 3D view, this is how, okay, I forgot this one. So this is the way it's supposed to look. So now the next thing is we're gonna place our walls, which display different sets of walls that apply to the actual project. So I'm gonna go to architecture and say wall, and then I'm gonna set my top constraint to 1, and I'm gonna say, so I'm gonna select the random wall, and then go to edit type, duplicate, and say okay, and then go to edit. So this one I'm gonna make it 230, and now material is concrete masonry units, so I'm gonna leave it like that and say okay, and then I'm gonna place it from this point to this point. And then another one, I'm gonna say edit type, duplicate, and say okay, edit type, and then I'm gonna change its material. So I'm gonna type in brick, and then I'm gonna use this one, brick common, and say okay, and then I say okay, okay, and then I'm gonna place it right on this point. As you can see, they are different. Go to edit tab again, duplicate, okay, and send, and then I'm gonna change this one. I'm gonna type in brick, and then I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna use this one, brick common brown, load it in and say apply, and then okay, and then say okay, and then I'm gonna place it like this, and then I'm gonna go to edit tab again, duplicate, and say okay, edit type, and then go to material, and then I'm gonna type in brick, and then I'm gonna go with brick common red, and okay, let's go with brick, no, brick common red is fine. So I'm gonna load it in and say apply, and then okay, and then okay, and then okay, and then I'm gonna place it like that. And then another one, go to edit type, duplicate, say okay, edit, and then I'm gonna change this material, type in brick, and I'm gonna scroll down, and then I'm gonna use this one, brick light blend running, load it in. apply and say okay, okay, and say okay. And then I'm gonna place it like that. And then yeah, the type again, duplicate, okay, change the material of this, type in brick, and then I'm gonna scroll down. So this is soldier, so I think we can go with which one am I looking for? The exposed masonry. I'm gonna say load it in, okay, okay, and then I'm gonna place it like that. And then obviously or the type duplicate, okay, obviously we have to have our shear walls, so I'm gonna type in concrete for our shear walls. So I'm gonna say concrete and say okay, okay, and then okay, and then I'm gonna place it right on this side. And then the last one, edit type, duplicate, okay, and then I'm gonna type in brick again. So the last one I'm gonna use is this one, brick Adobe, load it in, apply, and then okay, and then okay, and then okay, and then I'm gonna place it like that. Go to the 3D view. If I change this, the graphics to realistic, you will see you can distinct between the different sets of the brickwork that we have. So I'm gonna select, right click, okay, I'm gonna control select all of them, and then I'm gonna go to top offset and then set it to -1000, and this is what we have. Now the next thing is I'm gonna go to level 0 again and then place a section right on this point, and then open up the section, uncheck these boxes, and then I'm just gonna reduce my scale to 1:50, and then I'm gonna draw my sort of my roof deck. So this is gonna be it's gonna be used as a sample building, but also as an assembly point for the workers if they are running through their program or their invoke homes. This is where they will assemble and also do their toolbox talks. So under building, I'm gonna scroll down on the roof and say roof by extrusion, and then set. I'm gonna have to set the grid. So I'm gonna use this grid as my reference, which is number 6. Go to the section again, roof by extrusion. I'm gonna set my reference to grid 6. Okay, and then my level to level 1. I think that's okay. And then I'm gonna draw my roof like this. So I'm gonna set my angle to 25, and then select it, mirror pick axis, and then I'm just going to extend it and make it 8.5 and also 8.5 this side. And then I'm going to change my roof to roof generic 125, and then I'm going to say okay, and then adjust it and then place it like this. So this is basically how it looks. The next thing is I'm going to go back to my section 1 and then select this one and then say edit profile and then generate an opening on this one so they can enter. So I'm going to make the height 2000 and the width 800, and then I'm going to slice this line so that I can make that opening and say finish edit mode. Go to the 3D view. This is how it looks. And then I'm also going to apply it this side, and I'm gonna place another opening on, let me just reduce the scale. So I'm just gonna place another opening on this point. So the height I'm gonna make it 2000, the width 800, and then I'm gonna place it like that, and then I'm gonna slice this line, and then I'm gonna say finish edit mode, open up the 3D view, and this is what we have. Another thing is I'm just gonna place foundation slab on this. So I'm just gonna randomly place it like that, and I'm gonna change its type and make it 150 and say okay. So it's generic, and I'm gonna set the offset to 150. Go to the 3D view and then select all my walls and then adjust their offset and make them 150 from the base. So this is what we have. Now we have that we can use as our reference. So I'm just going to remove these grid lines now. So I'm going to delete them and then delete these sections also. So I'm going to go to massing inside, subregion, and then I'm going to place my gravel, continue with my gravel, and then place it like that. So all my gravels would be so let me adjust this. So all my gravel walkways on my site offices will be 1000 millimeters in width. So I'm gonna place it like that. So let me just select this and then adjust it like that. And then I'm gonna say trim and extend, and then I'm gonna apply the material to this and say gravel. Okay, and then I'm gonna have to close it down on this point. Okay, I think we can actually make it 2000. I think 2000 is fine, so I'm just gonna increase it, make it 2000, and let me just adjust this. So I'm gonna say finish edit mode, go to the 3D view, and this is how it looks. Now the next thing is we're gonna have to place our site offices. So in order for us to do that, I'm gonna have to go to insert and say load family. So we're gonna start with our site offices, which is this one. So I'm gonna say open, and I'm gonna say architecture component, and then I'm just gonna place. So the first one, we're gonna use it as a kitchen, so I'm gonna place it right there. And then the second one, okay, and then the other ones are certainly gonna be offices, so I'm gonna place them like that. Press spacebar to change its orientation, and then I'm gonna place others like that. And when you go to the 3D view, and this is how it looks. Now the next thing is we're gonna have to place our ablutions and also the showers. So you're gonna go to insert and say load family, and then I'm gonna load in another one, which is a container that has ablutions and also showers. So I'm gonna go to load component, and then I'm just gonna place it, press spacebar just to change its orientation. So, and then I'm gonna place it right there for the ladies, and then I'm gonna press escape because it's heavy, and then I'm just gonna copy it towards the side for the gents. And then there you have it. So if you select this family, you can certainly see on the inside that there are plumbing features and sanitary features. So it's a very much high detail family. So whoever produced this, thumbs up. And I'm gonna go back to level 0. So the next thing is I'm gonna place my water tank. So before I do that, I'm gonna go to massing and site and say sub-region, and then I'm gonna place my gravel, extend it on also towards this side, and then set the offset to 2000 millimeters, and then I'm just gonna place it like that, and then I'm gonna close it on this side. Another one, I'm gonna place it like that, just a random rectangle for our water tank, and then I'm gonna close this one down like this and say finish edit. Okay, this one clashes, trim and extend, and then in finish edit mode. So I'm gonna select my ablutions and then adjust them like this. So here I'm gonna place my water tank. So I'm gonna load in my water tank and say load family. And then for my water tank, I think it's this one, architecture component, and then I'm gonna place it like this, go to the 3D view, and there it is. There is my water tank. So after that, so yeah, this is basically our site offices, our site parkings. Now the only thing we can do is we can place a fence around it. So for our fence, I'm gonna go to insert load family, and then I think which fence I'm gonna go with. I think the latest one I downloaded, so I'm gonna load it in and say component, and then I'm just gonna draw it like this. So let me start on this side. So I'm gonna place it like this, then another one like this, another one this side, another one on this side, and another one on this side, another one on this side. So if I go to the 3D view, this is basically our side offices. I think it looks representative. So there we have it. We have our gravel access roads, our entrance. So the next thing is, of course, I've got our guardhouse. So for our guardhouse, we're gonna go with a container as well. So I'm gonna load in another family that I downloaded, which is a container that is high, very much high detailed also. So I'm gonna say open, and then I'm gonna say architecture component, and then I'm just gonna place it like that. And when I go to the 3D view, just to show how high detail it is, so there you have it. It has these access components. So yeah, I think that's very much representative for being used as a guardhouse. So another thing is I'm gonna have to add my barrier on our entrance. So for us, we're gonna use this barrier tool, and then I'm gonna say load it in and then place it like this. And then I'm gonna select it, go to edit type, and then I'm just gonna increase its boom length and make it, let's make it 4000 millimeters, and say okay. Okay, that didn't change. Boom length 4000 millimeters, apply, and then okay, yeah, the thing. Now this is basically how it looks. So this is your barrier. Now the next thing is we can go ahead model our. So I'm just gonna extend this gravel road. So I'm gonna place it like this, finish edit mode. Now we can model our building, and after that we will place our construction plants, construction vehicles, our scaffolding, and our cranes. So for our building, we're gonna keep it as simple as we can. It's just gonna be a very much simple concrete building. So I'm gonna place my grids like this, and then offset them by 5000 this side. So I think I'm gonna place, okay, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm gonna place another one like this. So I'm gonna offset it by 5000 also. So it's gonna be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's gonna be very much a simple symmetrical concrete building. Now the next thing is I'm gonna go to massing and site, and this is what I liked about the Revit 23 topography features, which is the building pad. So I'm gonna place my rectangle like this. So for my building pad, on each side I'm gonna offset it by I think I'm gonna make it 2000 millimeters. So this one I'm gonna make it 2000 millimeters, and also this one I'm gonna make it 2000 millimeters, and then this one 2000 millimeters, and this one I'm gonna offset it by 2000 millimeters and say finish edit mode, and then I'm gonna offset it by minus 500 millimeters from the topography. So it's gonna have precedence on the topography, so it's gonna cut it like this. Now we can go ahead place our columns. So you guys can use concrete columns for this. So I'm gonna insert my concrete columns, and let's go to concrete columns. I'm gonna go with the rectangular ones, load it in, and then go to structure column, and then I'm gonna go with 600 by 750, and then make sure your heights are set to 1, and then I'm gonna place it like this. Actually, I'm gonna select it and say add grids, and then I'm gonna place it at grids like this and say finish edit mode, and this is how it looks. So this is how it looks. Now the next thing is I'm gonna go to the south elevation, zoom in. Okay, I'm gonna have to extend these. Actually, I can just place a section. I'm gonna place a section like this, open up that section and check these boxes, reduce my scale, and then I'm gonna extend these. So I'm gonna select my levels, offset, and then pick lines and set my offset to 4000 millimeters. And then I'm gonna offset them. So we're gonna have 15 levels. And then after that, we're gonna place our floors, but our floors are gonna end at level two levels below the final level. So which is level 13, 14, 15. So I'm gonna say level 0 and then open up level 1. So on my level 1, I'm gonna go to the structure and say floors, and then edit, type duplicate, say okay, edit, and then I'm just gonna remove these layers, and then this one. So I'm gonna be left with that one and make it 200 millimeter thickness and say okay, and then I'm just gonna place a random block like this, and then I'm just gonna attach it on all the sides using these columns as my reference. So I'm gonna say align, and then I'm gonna align it also on this side, and then I'm gonna say finish, edit mode, go to the 3D view, and this is how it looks. Now I'm gonna select these columns, and remember our pad is 500 millimeters below our topography, so I'm gonna set these columns to -500. While they are still selected, I'm gonna say copy, and then I'm gonna paste it towards level 1. Actually, I'm gonna set it to level 1, the base, and then level 2, and then I'm gonna change the offset to 0, and then I'm gonna say copy, align to level 3 to level let's go with level 14. Say okay. Let's see what happens. So it's gonna copy the column towards those levels, and then I'm gonna select my floors, copy, paste to those certain levels. So I'm gonna start with level uh, 2 and then to level 13. Say okay, and this is what we have. So perfect. Now the next thing is we can place our cranes, but before we do that, just type in DL for detail line, and then place a cross like this, and then on your cross you're going to place a diagonal line like this at 45 degrees, and then you're going to select it and then paste it towards the other side. This will help you in terms of changing the orientation of your crane, so you can place another one this side. So you're going to say insert and then load family, and then I'm going to load in my crane. So I'm going to use this one and say open, and then I'm going to say architecture and then component, and then I'm going to place my crane like this. And as you can see, when you press tab on your keyboard, it changes its orientation based on those detail lines. So you can place it like that, and then this one I'm going to place it like this, and then this one it's going to be facing that way. So if I open up the 3D view, this is basically how it looks. Perfect. Now, so there's your site offices. Those are your parkings, and then this is your basically your project. Now, the next thing is you're gonna go to level 0 again, and then I'm gonna uh, establish my access route. So I'm gonna say massing and site and say subregion, and then I'm gonna place it like randomly like that, and then another one. So I'm gonna offset this one by 5000 millimeters, and then it's going to be set like that, and then I'm just going to close it down on this point. So you guys can just get as creative as you can, and I'm going to place another one and say pick lines and set the offset to 5000 millimeters, and then I'm going to close this down like that. Let me just say trim and extend, and then I'm going to close it on this point, and then this one also I'm gonna close it on this point, and this is what we have. So these are your access points for your construction plans. So the next thing is I'm gonna place my construction plans for site context. So I'm gonna go to insert and say load family. So let's start with my excavator. So I'm gonna select my excavator, and then I'm just gonna place it. So I'm just gonna place it right there, randomly right there. So this is where your plants are gonna be parking and also delivering your materials, and also this side. And then I'm gonna place another one, go to load family, and then I'm gonna select my truck. So gonna go to component, and then it's gonna be set like right there. So it's gonna be unloading right there. So if I open up my 3D view, this is what we have. So it's gonna be unloading right there. If I go to my level 0 again and say insert load family, so I'm gonna place my compactor. So my compactor is gonna be set there for roads and earthworks. Roads and earthworks mostly is going to happen in this side for parking access and also those things. So my compactor is going to be set on that side. So there it is. And then I'm going to insert another one, load family. So let's go with, okay, I think this truck. Yeah. So this truck, I'm going to place it right on this side just to show that this road is also used by other the logistic trucks, by other construction plants. It's not only for vehicles, it's mostly used by guys who are based at the site offices, but the guys who are also delivering materials can use this. Mostly the concrete trucks like this one, concrete mixers like this one, can use it because they are not that large in size. And so I'm gonna go to level 0, insert load family. So I think which other one we can go with. So I think, yeah, that's it. So I'm just gonna load in my private cars so that I can place it at my site office parkings. And so I'm gonna say component, and then I'm gonna place one right there, and then I'm gonna change it. Other one is gonna be placed right there, and then another one. So this one is gonna be, I'm gonna place it right there. So if I open up the 3D view, then this is basically what we have. So it's a sort of like a uh, carport for two cars. So yeah, this is very much looking representative. It's looking great at the moment. So I think the next thing is we can place our scaffolding. So I'm gonna select this one, the one I downloaded. So I'm gonna just place it right on this side, go to component, and then from this point, and then it's parametric, so I'm gonna drag it towards this point. So you guys can place it randomly, and then I'm just gonna say pick lines, and then it's gonna be copied towards the other side. So this is basically how it looks. So these are your scaffoldings. So you guys can place as many as you can, and I think that another thing we can load in is, okay, let's see what we can load in. Yeah, I think that's it. I think less is more. So I think that's it. When you go to the 3D view, let me just close these down. So this is basically what you have. You guys can add as many components as you like, and then you can make it much more intelligent by applying marks on certain Revit families, and then you can take it to Navisworks and do high level of detail 4D BIM or construction sequencing or construction planning. Yeah, but this is a great starting point, if I can put it like that. So it's very much representative. You can take it much further, but please stay tuned. We definitely gonna take it much further on the upcoming tutorials. We're gonna uh, dive in much more of construction planning for the BIM and all those things using different softwares like Navisworks and Bexel Manager. So please tune in, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. So there we have it. We have our guardhouse, we have our entrance, we have our site fence, we have our site offices, we have our site parkings, we have our gravel walkways, we have our assembly point, and also our sample building. We have our concrete, our gravel roads and walkways. We have our construction plants, our scaffoldings, our cranes, our building, our construction plants again, our access roads, and yeah, you can add as much more as you want. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly did, and I will certainly see you on the next tutorial. And if you want this model, actually the one I modeled before I did this one, you can get it on Patreon. I think it looks much better in my opinion, but I think this one also very much works for whatever purpose you want to use it. So I'll see you guys on the next tutorial, and have a good day, have a good evening, and peace.